is there a difference between, being a great couple in general and being a great couple at work? And I don't know if I have the answer yet to that. I think it's the same thing. What makes a great couple makes a great couple at work.
Yeah, I believe it's the same relationship in different context.
Yeah.
As long as you can hold the boundaries and do not transfer the work issues in your relationship and the relationship issues in your work field.
Yeah, and I think that, okay, so as in every other relationship, you need to have clear communication as best as you can. And you have to acknowledge boundaries. You have to, you have to really understand, what sets the other person off as to not do those things, and where the other person shines. So yeah.
Hello and welcome to Married and Magnetic, the place for entrepreneurial couples who want to stay happily married.
In each episode, we have real conversations with ordinary couples doing extraordinary things, sharing achievements, everyday joys, challenges, and the mindset and tools that make love the greatest strategic edge.
We are James
And Angela Mitchell,
a real-life married couple. She's a counselor,
and he's a coach,
parents to 3 kids,
and co-founders of Love Intentionally. We've ridden the highs
and lows
of building businesses while working hard to stay happily married. We've lived it, done the work,
got the t-shirt,
and are here to help you do the same.
This is Married and Magnetic, where love, business, and growth collide. Let's dive in, y'all. Hello, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Married and Magnetic. We are your hosts, James.
And Angela.
We are Love Intentionally, and we are here today with Anni and Kostas. We're super excited to have this conversation because Anni is a master healer, shadow priestess, mental health expert, teacher, and co-founder of Seeds of Bliss. After over 10,000 healing sessions and certifications in 10 plus modalities, she created Awakening the Seeds, a deep process guiding people to remember who they are beneath fear, conditioning, and survival patterns. She believes true healing comes when we stop running from the shadow and listen to it, embracing transformation, leadership, creativity, and human evolution. Kostas is a dedicated healer, mental health specialist, and guide with over 7,000 hours of experience supporting deep personal transformation. Renowned for his ability to read behavioral patterns with empathy and precision, he helps individuals dismantle limiting cycles and reconnect with their true selves. Through compassionate, non-judgmental guidance, Kostas empowers clients to find clarity, balance, and the courage to move forward with purpose. Welcome, Anni and Kostas.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this conversation because I think you all are similar to us in a lot of ways, doing the work we do and also being a couple doing it together, which is, I think, kind of unique and a special sauce in this whole work we're doing. So I would love to hear, we got your bio, but I'm curious, and this is probably going to be a question for each of you to answer, is what... being a healer, helping people through deep transformations and shadow work, it's a pretty big calling in my worldview, right? To be able to help people do that, and a real gift. What brought each of you to this work?
Question. Okay, I will go first. I was born with it. I was always between the so-called normal world and the unseen. I was very intuitive since I was a child. I could feel other people's feelings. I could, let's say I could see, but not with my physical eyes, information that are not really obvious. And I was silenced thousands of times because of that. Because people are mysterious beings, they don't like the unknown. They are afraid of the unknown. But when the unknown becomes known, then they are scared again. So I couldn't figure that out if they want their selves and their lives to be unknown or known. So I was silenced. And as an adult, after some very intense experiences, I decided to step into my own healing journey, to tap into my shadows, my hidden parts, and my healer prompted me to become a healer myself. And I went into the first healing training out of curiosity. I had no intention to become a healer, like ever. But then it just happened.
Beautiful.
What about you, Kostas? How'd you get into this work?
Well, for me, there are two answers. So the first part of the question is that how did I end up, doing this for myself, and then how did I transition, professionally into it? So I have always had this question that what does what do they do when they get stressed? What do they do under, duress? What makes people tick? I have always had these kind of questions because I have had people with mental illnesses in my family, and it was putting me under a lot of stress. And I had noticed that, I behave erratically myself. So first and foremost, I had these questions about myself. That's how I started this journey. And then growing up, because I had to find ways to cope into my family, and the mental illness surrounding me, I kind of became detached from certain things, from certain feelings, and or from all feelings actually. And I was constantly under survival mode mostly. So at some point I caught myself in situations that other people would just back away from me, and I was wondering why is this happening to me? I must be doing something wrong. I mean, in every relationship, whether friendly or romantic or whatever, both parts have equal responsibility about what's going on. But I had to find my part on it. What did I do, to push people away? So this is what happened. This is how I started, the self-reflection. And as I started reflecting, I figured things out about myself. I saw things. I have had many conversations with many people about, me and my mentality and their mentality. And that's how I got into, thinking and talking about this kind of thing. And then as this was going on, I wasn't doing this professionally at first. I was doing this, I don't know how to say it, just for me and my curiosity and my self-improvement. And I have a bartender that's a friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. He told me, because we would get into very deep talks, he told me that I should be a bartender. And I'm like, nah, I'm not. Cut out for this work. So anyway, after a few years, I met my wife, and she told me the same thing: not to be a bartender, but get to the get into the metal healing um, world. And yeah, so I did. I did.
Beautiful. So tell us a little bit about how you came together as a couple. What is your couple story? How did you meet? When did you decide to work together?
Actually, we didn't decide anything. Everything happened.
Yeah, yeah. Everything happened because, okay, so I will dare say that I am the instigator in this relationship because, um, okay, so this has to do with my work too. Sometimes I just go on autopilot and I act based on instinct and intuition. So I just met her one day and we were hanging out at the bar, and I was hanging out with my friends, and a common friend of ours brought her over. So I met her and we talked. And yeah, then, I added her on social media, started talking, and stuff like that.
You knew pretty early that she was somebody you wanted to spend more time with?
Yeah, really early, really early. And, our story is kind of boring and not at the same time. Because there is nothing, how to say it, there is no big and crazy story behind how we got together. But there is a big and crazy story on how fast we got together.
How fast was
So
it?
Yeah. And so what happened is that we met that night at that bar, and we started texting and stuff like that. And then Annie, at the time, she was already working as a energy healer at the time. And the day that I asked her out for a coffee date, like at noon or something, that day we had a pretty tight schedule because she had appointments lined up for the day, and everyone canceled. Everyone canceled out on her on that day. um, so we got to spend all the day together. We went for our coffee date, then we went out to go out with my dog for a walk, if I remember correctly, and then we went out drinking the whole day, literally.
And how long ago was that? How long have you been together now?
6 years. That happened in 2019.
Pre-pandemic. And tell everybody where you live.
Yeah, we are in Greece.
Yeah.
And all of this happened down south on the big island of Crete.
Beautiful love story.
Yeah. I love, Annie, that all your clients canceled that day. I'm just like envisioning you like with your like energetic intuitive powers being like, I wish I had more time for this date. And then all of a sudden the universe provides you with a whole free day.
Yeah, I no complained of how life is treating me, like ever.
Yes.
I just summon things of the unseen, out of the unseen, and manifesting them really
yeah.
easily.
I love
But
that.
yeah, this day was wonderful, and I think it was after a week that we moved in together.
I don't remember that one.
Unofficially.
I don't remember that one. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I don't remember. We moved in together pretty quickly. We got married, well, with a lawyer at first, after a month,
Yeah.
and then probably on the church after a year. That's
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a crazy quick love story. I guess when you know, you know.
Yeah, I told you it was quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you, since that day that you did your first date, have you spoken to each other just about every day since?
Have you? I didn't get the question.
Since the day, I was trying. So since the day that you've met and started dating, have you spoken to each other and been in contact every day since? Yeah. So that, like meeting your soulmate. We also, fun story, we met in a bar as well.
It happened.
Which, yeah, it happens. And that's not where we would meet at this stage in our life. But back then, we got to meet in a bar and we've been together ever since.
Yeah, there was one day where he didn't text me because
she told me, I asked her, I was like, hey, is this exclusive? Like, are we together now? It had been like a couple of months of dating. And she said, no, I'm not ready
it had been
yet.
1 month of dating.
1 month.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm like ready to be exclusive yet.
I said, great. You know, we've been talking every day. If we're not exclusive, like, I'll give you a little bit of space. And I went the next day and I didn't reach out. And then the next day came and I called her and she was like, I didn't like that we didn't talk yesterday. Like, we are officially exclusive. Like,
now we're going to talk every day. So it's what I thought I wanted. And then I actually tried it and I was like, nope, never mind. Just kidding. So.
All right. So when did you two start working? All right. So things are going great. The relationship, we're married within a month, right? You're each doing your own thing in business. When did you decide to go into business together?
It never happened. We never decided to go into business together. It just happened.
It just tell me more.
Yeah.
So we are doing, how to say it? Okay. So Annie, when we first met, she was already an established healer, pretty much. And she had her schedule lined up. She had her work lined up on that field. And when I started training as an energy healer as well, I was working as a cook as well. So I wasn't, I had my feet in two boats, so to speak. So I quit my cooking job at 24. No, 23?
No.
Earlier? Yeah, I think I quit my cooking job, almost 3 years ago. And up until then, we have never had, any kind of collaboration together. And then I really can't put this at a specific date or in time, yeah, we just started doing things together. She wanted to do workshops, and I provided, um, backstage help to her. Yeah, yeah, that's how we started. It must have been, I don't know, a couple of years ago, 2023 or 4.
I think it was the very first time we did something together was in the first lockdown,
In the first lockdown, 21 then. I don't know.
2020.
2020, okay.
Yeah.
So Annie, you've got lots of, it seems like both of you have a lot of intuition. You can read between the lines and see things that others can't. Annie, did you get a divine download? Did you ask him for help? Did he offer it? Like, how did he end up stepping into your business?
Actually, it wasn't even officially a business structure. It started forming as a business when Kostas decided that he wants to fully step out of his cooking job and commit fully to the mental health industry. And we had already been going back and forth, brainstorming and exchanging ideas, helping each other, supporting each other. So it came naturally. It's not something that was decided in a day. And it's funny that you mentioned divine downloads, which is not my thing. I really don't believe in this kind of stuff. Like divine modalities that will resolve every problem. No, it's not like that. Very conscious choices. You step into an agreement, a co-creation, a collaboration, where your guide, your healer, your mental health expert, whatever you want to call it, has 50% of the responsibility about the outcome, and you hold the other 50% of the responsibility. So I'm not Jesus, like you will touch my clothes and you will get miraculously healed. You have to do the work, and you have to be brave enough to do really deep work.
I love that. I think brave enough to do the really deep work, especially as a married couple in business together, can be a real thing. A lot of times, Angela and I working with couples, we're talking about another couple situation, and then all of a sudden we're talking about our life. I'm like, hold on a second, like that's not what we were talking about. And so we've learned a lot. What are some of the challenges that you two have overcome to become really great partners at work?
That's interesting because when Annie told me what we were going to talk about today, I immediately thought to myself, is there a difference between, being a great couple in general and being a great couple at work? And I don't know if I have the answer yet to that. I think it's the same thing. What makes a great couple makes a great couple at work. For me, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe it's the same relationship in different context.
Yeah.
As long as you can hold the boundaries and do not transfer the work issues in your relationship and the relationship issues in your work field.
Yeah. And I think that, okay, so as in every other relationship, you need to have clear communication as best as you can. And you have to acknowledge boundaries. You have to, you have to really understand, what sets the other person off as to not do those things, and where the other person shines. So yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because, we've talked about it on this podcast before, but our story, we were doing great as like a married couple.
Crushing it.
For years. And he was an entrepreneur. I was a counselor, therapist, but working for other organizations and people, not out on my own. And then when we switched to working together, all of a sudden we started like butting heads, and some of it, and we were like, wait, what? We're so great together as a couple and communicating and all these things. Like, why aren't these skills transferring to, like you said, Annie, this new context, right? But I think a lot of it was, like you said, the boundaries, right? Like, sometimes we would start, like he said, talking about a work thing, and all of a sudden we're it was very similar to our situation. So we end up talking about our relationship and something there and arguing over that, or vice versa. We get mad at each other in the morning over something, and then we're supposed to work together and we're kind of like, meh, you know, with each other. So those boundaries I think are really important. What has there been anything for you all working together, an area that's kind of like tripped you up or been something you've had to learn to navigate together?
For me, it was boundaries, for sure, because I'm so passionate about my work that I can work all day and night.
Yeah, she can. And she also can talk about work while she's not working. So you get it. And yeah, someone has to stop her. And that's me.
Have you found a
Yeah.
really great way to do that?
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
we did. We're not, I am stopping her when she starts talking about work at 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm stopping her. And usually that's enough. And I don't know what else I'm doing. I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm doing this really intuitively, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but yeah, and what she's doing, actually, we are the opposites. Like, it's really interesting because I was gonna ask about your title because magnetism, opposites attract. So that's what happens here. We're opposite sides of this spectrum, like the overworker and the lazy guy. And
Yeah.
that's literally what we are. So yeah, she tries to propel me forward, and I have to hit the brakes sometimes. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you brought that up with the magnetism, because that has been true for us as well. And we like to say that we complement each other really well, right? Like, so yeah, I'm more detail oriented. He's big picture, but those things work really well together if we allow each other to really, let our strengths show.
So Annie, I'm curious, when Kostas stops you or pauses you or says, hey, we're going to put the boundary on work right now, was that something that you received easily from the beginning, or how has that gone for you?
Yeah, this is always tricky for me because my job is on the same path with my so-called life's mission, soul purpose, whatever you want to call it, you name it. So I love humans so much that I can stay there, crafting solutions, resolving situations and hardships forever. I never get tired. I never get hungry. Nothing. But I understand what is happening because I have also a craving for my own personal relationships. My relationship with my husband, with friends. So for me, it's very helpful, actually, to step out of the work routine and into my life again.
And Kostas, when you want some attention from her, right? So if she's putting all this energy out, she's working on her mission, she's helping all these people, and you're like, but hey, like, what about this guy? Right? How do you go about that?
How I go about that? Okay, I will answer you, and I wanted to say something about what she said right now. I mean, see, what she said is actually true. Everything is true, but the best answer for me would be that it is an ongoing fight. It is not something that is resolved ever. It happens over and over again because we do things over and over again. So what do I do to get her attention? I just tell her. I just tell her, I mean, the best communication is the simple communication. Like, you have to stop. I want to do something with you today. I'm bored on my own. I want to do something with you.
And is that received well? Does Annie respond to that?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Most of the times, fortunately, but yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It is what it is, yeah.
James used to put his name on my to-do list because I would always be doing all the things on my to-do list, and when he wanted attention, he would just put James on there. And I would see it, it'd make me laugh a little bit, and then I'd be like, okay, he needs a little attention.
That's a good idea, but we'll do that too.
Yeah, take that one.
Yeah.
That's been a really good one. I love what you said, man. The best communication is the simple communication.
Yeah,
And I didn't realize the simplicity of just writing my name on her to-do list. And I don't even have to say anything.
Yep.
exactly.
Very simple.
Exactly.
Yep.
So one of the things that we believe and we notice in our work, so we're helping couples to stay happily married, specifically entrepreneurs. This work, if you're listening, you're not an entrepreneur, this work works for any couple that is wanting to build their life together. We find that entrepreneurs just are truly building a life, and they understand how this can apply to their marriage. But we've noticed that couples can have seasons of growth at different times. So she might be going through a season of growth and I might. For example, I went to a Tony Robbins event back in
Years ago.
2016, like a long time ago.
Okay.
And I went with my business manager, right? This was a business thing. And I get back and it was so much more than that. It was personal development at its finest at the fire walk, right? And I came back and I was just like blurting everything out. And like, it was like this big ball of sunshine energy, just trying to catch her up to all this change that I had just experienced. And she looked at me and she goes, we're never doing personal development alone like that again. Like we grow together or we grow apart. So I'm sure you've noticed that, but how do you navigate seasons when one of the people in the relationship, one partner is growing and it ends up creating distance in the relationship?
It has never happened to us. That's the simple answer again. It has never happened to us because I don't know. It just never did. It was a time. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of synchronicity. So ever since we got together, we have been doing things together. And most of our trainings, they have been together. When we first met, and she told me, she introduced me to the energy healing world. I did some trainings alone to catch up with her and understand what she's talking about. But everything else we have done together. And I don't know. I'm not sure I completely understand the concept of someone outgrowing the other person, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So I would say to kind of clarify on what he was saying is, yes, we've tried the same thing. We try to grow together. And that doesn't mean that we never do anything apart. James goes to men's retreats. Sometimes I go to women's retreats, those kind of things. But we are both on a path of growing, right? Like we're both committed to that and kind of bringing our best selves to the relationship. And then we do these personal, spiritual development things together as well, right? So that we have those together. And it sounds like you all are similar in that. What we've seen sometimes with working with clients, and I'm curious if you all have seen this as well, is if you're doing individual work with someone, some healing work, some transformational work, some shadow work, right? There's a lot that can come up that can be really big. There can be a lot of big energy there, right? And what we found sometimes is there's one person in the relationship that is really wanting to do that. They're wanting to do that healing work, that transformational work. And the other person is kind of like, I don't know about this, or you're changing. Who are you? Like it can sometimes, if the other partner isn't on board, create some disconnect. And I'm just curious if you've seen that in any of the people you've worked with. And if so, how you help people navigate that.
This has happened sometimes. But it mostly happens when one of the two partners is doing the work and the other one is distant anyway. So distance is there. It's not being created because of the healing. But sometimes these experiences, because they're very profound and initiative, they are initiations. So they open the doors to a very different level of ourselves. And we have to be patient and also very thoroughly inform the other person about what's going on so that they can understand they need to be patient until everything settles, because everything will settle. But sometimes it feels like a tornado and it's very scary.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to thumbs down that. If you're watching this on video, it just put a thumbs down on. Yeah, thumbs down that shit.
No.
How did you do that, though?
We don't know.
I think it
Moving
just
his
picks up the
hand.
thumbs, fun little nuggets that happen because of technology. Yeah. All right, y'all. What do you do? And this is a selfish question. right? Because I'd like to know the answer. It doesn't seem like you two fight very much, right? We all have miscommunications or disconnect, but I don't think you fight very much. I'm not getting that vibe. Although I think there's going to be times when you're maybe not getting along, you have a difference of opinion, or maybe like somebody's a little extra grouchy. Does that ever affect how you work on your business together, or how do you get over that so you can get all of your focus on to being in business?
I mean, we all have bad days,
Yeah.
and yeah, we don't fight, but we do fight, obviously. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've heard people say that, there's couples that never fight. That's a lie. I don't think such a thing exists. Um, but anyway, yeah, when you have a bad day, what do you do when you have a bad day? You have to, take a breath and sit back and, reflect on what's going on. And maybe when you really have a bad day or a bad week and you can't, be there as you should be, you better step back. I think that's the best approach. You don't do anything. I mean, if you are really pressured to do something, okay, you have to, get yourself together and reflect on why you're there and why you're doing this. But if you have the choice to not do anything and not overexert yourself, that's the best way to do things.
Force it.
Yeah, not force it.
I think we just tapped into one of the cultural differences between people living in Greece and the United States of America.
No.
No.
Nope.
No, just for you.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, law of attraction's like, hey, if you're in the wrong state of mind, like, do not put effort and energy into this thing because you're feeding it with the wrong energetic fuel, right? And so if you can take a step back, get your feet set. I love that.
Yeah. Have you ever done okay, the best way to describe this, what I just said to someone, is to propose to them to do some sort of handiwork, like wood carving, for example. Go and do wood carving while you are pissed off at someone or something. You will make a mess. You will cut your hands. You will make a mess out of the carving itself. You can literally see the depiction of your mental health state on something you make with your hands. It will be terrible most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that analogy.
Yeah. You can have the writing your name on her to-do list. I'm going to take that one. Thank you for sharing today.
Yeah. Do something with your hands when you're pissed off. It won't turn out well. I guarantee you.
Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit more about your business before we wrap up. So you all work with individuals and also sometimes with couples. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And groups.
So I'm curious because I think it's a deep-seated belief of mine, I guess ours, is that I really believe that, we can do a lot of our on ourselves and our healing and all of that. And then we get into a relationship and somehow those old wounds get triggered, right? And I think that a lot of that is because our early wounding as children is often relational, right? It's from a parent or a sibling or a peer, but there was some relational wound. And so we do all this work to heal on our own. So I'm curious with you all and the work you do, do you like to work with individuals first and then bring it together as a couple, or do you start with couples? Kind of how do you see that process of individual work versus couple work? And what do you think is most helpful?
It depends on the individuals and the case. No couple is the same with any other, and the same applies to individuals. So it really depends. It's an intuitive decision, what we feel is best for them.
Great. And when you work with...
excuse me, but my opinion, what I mostly see is that it is always better for me if I start working individually with people first and then move on to anything else.
Yeah, most of the people that find us to do the couples work have done some sort of personal work first. Like they have a better understanding of who they are, what makes them tick, kind of why they show up the way they show up, and then they can actually apply that into their relationship. So that really resonates, I think, with what we see as a really great source. And also for myself, I've had the opportunity to work on internal, call them triggers, internal wounds that affect how I show up in relationship. And until I get myself set and solid, it's hard to bring it anywhere else.
So will you talk about what you're doing now? If someone wanted to work with you, what kind of programs do you have? How could they access your work?
Okay, we have a few options. There's always the one-on-one option and then the couple sessions. We are opening a new membership, which is called Your Village, to bring the village back, but internationally and online this time. For people that feel they do not really belong to the societal structure as it is today, and they want to create an impact, to cast a mark in this lifetime, and really help other people. And we also have our group workshops for 2026, which are about wealth, abundance, and how to really create the life you want to live.
Great. So if someone was interested in one of those, what's the best place to find you?
Our social media and our website under the handle of Seeds of Bliss.
Seeds of Bliss.
Seeds of Bliss.
Seeds of Bliss. At Seeds of Bliss. And we'll go ahead and link those in the show notes per usual. So take a look down there. Go give them a like, follow, see what their content says, y'all. Give them some love. Say thanks for anything that's really resonated with you on this podcast. So let's see. Before we ask you a series, we've got 4 little rapid fire questions here that we love to ask at the end of the show just for fun. Is there anything else that you'd like to share or use this platform to amplify your voice with?
Nothing really on my end.
I will just say keep it simple. And yeah, keep it simple. And not everything that they tell you applies to, when it comes to couples, you hear a lot of things about what is normal and what is not. That's bullshit. Don't believe that.
Great. Okay, y'all, closing trivia. 4 questions. We'll ask them quick, answer at your leisure. Question number 1. What does your spouse call you?
It won't make sense to you. Because, it won't make sense to you. Okay, so it is the equivalent of love bug. Yeah.
How do you say it?
How do I say it?
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
so
Greek?
there is a story behind it. For me, it's Zoom mom. That's what I call her. It's a pun. Yeah.
It's an inside joke. Yeah.
It's an inside joke. Yeah.
Great. Love it.
A Greek pun inside joke. That's one of my favorite answers so far. Like
It is not even Greek. It is a pun, half Greek, half Chinese, actually.
Even better. Multilingual fun. I love it.
Created out of an autocorrect mistake
Yeah.
a text on Messenger.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what he calls you. Do you call him that back or something different?
Yeah, I got it.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Who cooks in the family?
Me.
Who's the family? I was guessing when you said you used to work.
Yeah.
in the chef.
Is that a hard guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite snack?
Everything. I don't know.
Anything that can be consumed while sitting on the couch and watching a movie.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Who is the first to apologize after a fight?
Those are the toughest questions you have asked today. I don't know. We both do. Sometimes I do, sometimes she does. I don't know. Yeah.
Because we do not really fight like yelling and throwing things, so it's mostly an intense conversation, and then we build the bridge back.
Bridge back. And the last one.
Who makes the bed?
Who makes her?
And how many pillows are on the bed?
3?
3 pillows.
Yeah.
There might be our cultural difference.
We have lots of decorative pillows, and James is not a fan.
Just trying to figure out why we have 10 pillows on our bed.
They're pretty.
We have 3 pillows in our bed and we have 40 in our couch, so on our sofa.
Okay,
so,
there you go.
Yeah. So we're not so different.
Okay,
Not
great.
so. We are not so different, although half a world apart. This conversation has been an absolute blast. Thank you for sharing your hearts. Thank you for sharing what works. Thank you for sharing what doesn't work. These are valuable, dare I say, vital conversations for married folks to get to have these days, to figure out how to better connect, how to be better seen, appreciated, and desired, because that creates more love in our hearts that we get to share into the world. So if you've enjoyed this episode, share it with somebody that you care about. If something in it resonated with a specific relationship or person in your life, go ahead and hit that button and send it their way. If you haven't left us a review yet, go ahead and leave that, especially if it's a 5-star one. And until we see you next time, Anni and Kostas, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure to share our hearts together, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you as
Thank
well.
you.